The 2021 College Football Hall of Fame ballot has been released, and Kevin Faulk is on there again. And, of course, we've talked about Kevin Faulk in length on this show. I truly believe he's what changed LSU. He made it cool again to stay in state, not go to Miami or Florida State or one of those schools, and go to LSU. So very important for the LSU football program. And I just got a little upset because they had a notable names list pop across the TV there a second ago. Some of the names on there, it's like, okay, you had Carson Palmer and Tim Couch and Jack Del Rio, Dwight Freeney, Marvin Harrison. They had Sebastian Janikowski on there, no Kevin Faulk. Seabass, a kicker.
First rounder.
A kicker was on there and not Kevin Faulk. And Ken Dorsey was on there as well. If Ken Dorsey and those sleeves get into the College Football Hall of Fame before my man Kevin Faulk, I'm going to be pretty upset. I know he won a natty. But.
So when you're talking about who gets into the Hall of Fame and who doesn't, and you kind of lay out the resume, like, okay, well, here's the argument for why. Kevin Faulk only needs to be one line. At the time he quit, the SEC's all-time, all-purpose yards leader. That's the end.
Yeah.
That conference, that record, in a discussion.
He's still LSU's all-time leading rusher. When I watched him, like, you knew it was different. And was he playing on bad teams? It wasn't the early 90 LSU teams, but let's not act like it was great. And when he got to LSU, they were in bad shape, and they started to become respectable. Now, he never was able to, go to the Sugar Bowl like a couple of classes after him. He wasn't able to win a national title in 03. Obviously, he'd been gone a long time, but he set that foundation for an entire program. I truly believe that. And in almost every game Kevin Faulk played in, if not every game, he was the best player on the field. So here's to me hoping that he gets into the College Football Hall of Fame. Now, look, there's great names. One of my former teammates, Darren Sproles. Darren Sproles was outstanding at Kansas State. Hope he gets in as well. But I'm hoping my man Kevin Faulk is one of those names called James Laurinaitis, who's on our show many a times. 3-time All-American. Like, he's probably got a pretty good shot as well. So why don't you put some of those names up there on that graphic? I think it was ESPN. That just popped that across the screen. Not Seabass, Sebastian Janikowski. What are we doing here?
That heck of a career for Sebastian Janikowski.
He's a kicker.
I mean, that's such a great profession. Like, he was not on very many good teams. You just kind of showed up on Sunday, kicked a couple 48-yarders, call it a day, did it for 20 years, made a bunch of money, going to collect a ton of pension. Like, it's just, that's the way you got to live.
So Fox College Football actually did it right. Their notable list is Champ Bailey, Kevin Faulk, Dwight Freeney, Tony Gonzalez, Marvin Harrison, Ray Lewis, by the way, Ed McCaffrey, Carson Palmer, Julius Peppers, Roy Williams, the safety, not the receiver. It's a stacked list this year to go in. Of course, there's, you got to be an All-American, you got to do this, that, and the other. So all these guys are going to be names for the most part that but it's going to be one of those all-time classes.
He should get in for sure. I mean, there's a lot of guys, and the deal where only so many people get in at a time has never made any sense to me in any of these halls of fame. Like, you're either in or you're not. Why you have to wait for somebody else to get in before you can get in is ridiculous. I mean, we sat here and ran through this whole song and dance with Kevin Mawai, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, time and time and time again, and finally let him in because they had to get some other people out of the way. It just doesn't make any sense. You're a Hall of Famer. You're a Hall of Famer. We got to induct 11 guys. We got to induct 11 guys. It doesn't matter. But that's the way it's structured. So one day that time will come.
Don't worry. I'll have the same speech when Alan Faneca goes up for the Hall of Fame again. Don't worry. I'm always going to push for my LSU guys. Inside the Bayou Ford huddle, should Faulk's number be retired at LSU? That's something we've also talked in length on this show. Yes, it should be. And I'm not saying retire everybody's number. And in fact, for a long time, I appreciated that Billy Cannon was the only number that was retired at LSU. That was kind of cool. He was the only Heisman Trophy winner, the only number that was retired. But when you start to look at it, there's so many people that set the foundation of what LSU football is. And there's so many people with the resume to have their jersey retired. I'm not saying we become the Yankees where you can barely find a number to wear. But there's some people.
Aaron Judge, 99.
Yeah, that's unless it's on Rick Wild Thing Vaughn, it's not supposed to be in baseball. Mitch Williams wearing 99?
Probably,
yeah. My point. Yeah, you don't want to be wearing 99 out there for the Yankees. But Kevin Faulk, Glenn Dorsey, those are people that should have their numbers retired. Now, nobody that wears 7 is ever going to get it retired, or 18. That's fine. That's tradition. I love that as well. There's a couple of guys though for LSU's football program, and let's not act like there wasn't a bad time. There were some rough years there, especially in the early '90s. Some really good players, but rough times, and so sometimes you forget about those players. I think that Kevin Faulk, Glenn Dorsey, the first two that popped into my mind that should be retired. Joe Burrow is going to be right there as well. Like
that one's happening.
Let's scrap all the other stuff. I don't care how many years you got to wait. I don't care what you can't get a statue until you're 47 years old. I don't care about all that. Just put it up already. Just put all these numbers up. The guys that should have already been there.
We talked about this when it came out, but when the schedule was released. But I asked you this on the air, and you answered it on the air, but we'll do it again. Do you know when the Bengals bye week is this year?
Bama?
LSU Bama. Yeah. Come on back, 9. And grab a helmet.